Okay, thanks for joining. Despite Onam weekend, you guys are here. Yeah, I really appreciate for joining this webinar. And yeah, I myself, Karthik, if you don't know, I have around 20 plus years experience in IT industry. And I worked in Amazon in senior management capacity for a decade. And I left Amazon in January. Then I did some consulting work for Amex. And then now joined a big consulting firm as a forward deployment engineering senior management role just 2 days ago. I'm still, brand new to the company. Okay, so a quick intro about my AI coaching program, agenticaischool.org. That is my website. So I do teach how to build a multi-agent agentic systems, how to build rack pipeline, and what are the skills you need to become a successful forward deployment engineer or architect. All of this covered in my course. And this is just a glimpse of what are the topics, not everything. If you want to know exact curriculum, you have to visit my website. And forward deployment engineering job growth it's keep on growing. They're expecting 15.8% uh, job growth, and then 267,000 additional jobs projected. So definitely, if you're an AI space or non-AI space, if you're an engineer or architect or product manager, this is the time to get into forward deployment engineering role. I'm not saying you have to join my course. You can do self-learn. There are so many YouTube videos are there, or some other course you think that's better than this. Please go ahead. The point is, I wanted to be aware of the industry trend change happening in this webinar and make sure you are you know what you need to do to become a FDE to either foolproof your current career or get into FDE bandwagon by finding another job. So right now in the enterprises and companies, the biggest issue is not building the prototype. Anyone can build a prototype using vibe coding within a week, right? You can make it work in your local laptop or in a dev server within a week, easy. But the problem is from the time you completed the pilot or prototype to make it production ready, it takes ever, forever, or it never happens. So that is the biggest challenge. Personally, I face the same issue in my recent engagement where I completed the prototype in 1 week, but to take it to deployment, it took at least 6 weeks actually. So, in fact, my friends who work in the same company warned me that don't get too excited that you completed the whole. It's not even prototype; it is really working product actually. Um, in my laptop. Within 1 week, don't get too excited. You will face a lot of challenges when you try to take it to deployment. And I didn't believe them, but I was wrong actually. So it took at least 5 to 6 weeks to take it to deployment. So that is the better reality. And at least I was able to take it to close to production in 5, 6 weeks. And most of the time, it fails in demo part itself because they didn't, the engineers or project managers or team leads, they didn't account for the things that they need to take it to production. So, anyone resonate this issue, whether you are in FDE space or AA space or non-AA space? Even you can just put it in chat window. You don't have to
No, I
talk.
think, hey, Karthik, this is Srikanth. Yeah, I think I also have encountered the same problem. Um, I'm not into the AI space exactly, but still, like, I think the development life cycle itself demands a lot of time. between the time we finish off an application and then taking them to prod, right? Like there's a lot of process, a lot of dependencies. Probably, like you rightly said, we don't really cover them up when we are actually performing the development. I think it's only when we were trying to push the code into prod, then we understand the nitty-gritties, and then it keeps delaying the production. So I don't know if that's what you mean, but
Yeah.
yeah, I have also faced the same problem.
Okay. Okay. Glad to know, but I'm not the only one. Yeah. Cool. Anyone else? If not, we will move on. So, what is forward deployment engineering? It is emerging trend. Palantir pioneered it, particularly in government agencies. They brought this new trend or model to work with their clients, actually. So, it's a really an operating model where you have engineer, architect, product thinker, AI engineer, everyone they come together and then closely work with customers to solve the problem and take the ownership of the delivery end to end. And the biggest, what do you call, value added point is you are doing it in everything in very quickly. Later, we will go through a sample business problem and then how traditional software engineering model or consulting model works, and then how FDE is completely changing the game.
Okay,
So,
Karthik, I have a question, Karthik. Sorry to interrupt.
sure.
So, so when we say we have to do it in a fast track model, for any business case, there might be different technologies needed, right? I mean, in overall from starting till end,
Yeah.
right? The for any, so if one person can, how can that person can do in FTE model?
It's not one person. It's probably a team of people, actually. You'll have probably
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay.
And
So that means a team of people will solve the problem
yes,
together.
yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. And how about the non-technical side? When I say project managers, program managers, that side of it, or testers.
So they also, it's the same thing. For any project, you will have a software engineer, right? Traditionally, and then you have
Okay.
team of
Project
software.
manager, testers, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those things. It's the same thing. The difference is how you're operating with the customer. Previously, um, as a architect or team lead, you are completely shielded away from gathering the requirements. A product
Correct.
owner will gather the requirements, and then they will pass it to you in the name in the form of user stories, and then you start working on it. Correct.
Correct.
So
Correct.
and most of the time, in fact, I don't know if he is here. Okay, he didn't join. So he was recently complaining that he was not even allowed to talk to his client at all. He was saying that for each and every small things, I have to take to my leadership, and they have to talk to client leadership. It is frustrating, and it creates a lot of friction, and it is delaying the whole project. And I wish they understand this issue and fix it instead of his main concern was 2 months later they will say, hey, why we haven't delivered this. We started doing vibe coding, which supposed to have 3x productivity, 5x productivity, but why we are still delivering as if we are delivering by doing the manual coding. That was
Oh,
his
okay. Got it.
concern.
Yeah. So that means, just if I put in a simple terms, today we are doing a Scrum model, right? In majority of companies. So one Scrum team consists of a developer, a tester, a Scrum master, or agile champion, and the other people also. So that means the same one Scrum team will become like FD
Yes,
team.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It's really
and
how
it
they
will
are.
become like a consulting inside a company.
Yes, yes. You are deeply
Oh,
embedded within clients' team.
okay,
Actually, you
great.
will
Okay.
directly work with the customer, and
Okay.
there is no red tape or there is no in-between layer that is slowing you down. So
Okay, got
you
it. Thank
own
you.
the solution, you own the outcome end to end. It's not like where customer told me to do this, so I am doing this. If in an interview someone asks, why did you do this? I don't know. My customer asked me to do it, so I delivered it. We don't have a lot of say in it. So that kind of what do you call mentality or victim mentality will be gone with this particular model, where you are empowered to work with the customer, identifying the frictions, identifying the problems, issues, identifying the pain points in their existing workflow, for example, and then you are power to build the solution very quickly, prototype it. It's almost like a startup kind of model. We are doing it for consulting side.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, traditional software engineer, product engineer, you have one capability. You will be doing multiple customers, working with multiple customers. Whereas forward deployment engineer, you have only one customer, and you are delivering many capabilities. So you are really embedded deeply into the customer side or teams, and then you own the problem and solve end to end. So as I said, Palantir is the one pioneered this model. So why it is exploding now? Because AI reduced the cost of building the product. Um, my personal story, I wanted to build few applications, and I tried and failed multiple times. One is my coaching app for flirting coaching app for men to teach them how to flirt. I did a capstone project as part of an entrepreneurship course, and the capstone theme I took is scams in dating apps. That's when I came to know long story short. And ever since I found a gap, I wanted to build this and I couldn't build it. I tried offshoring it. I gave it to some students who are looking for internship here at ASU. They didn't deliver it. And then, yeah, and then vibe coding last year, I was so frustrated, and I spent probably 2 months, 3 months, and I was able to take it all the way to production. But remember, last year, vibe coding, these models were not that great. So the same idea, if I want to deliver the same thing to production in a working website, I would be probably taking only 2 weeks actually. So AI reduced the cost of building the products, and then but your enterprise complexity still remains. Your processes are still kind of chaotic or very hard to understand. Uh, there are too many moving parts. All of this still remains. AI is not solving them yet. And then AI's behavior is probabilistic. So that means there are a lot more failure scenarios, failure points. So um, gone are the days where you are building a product and you're testing it thoroughly. You added unit test, integration test, and manual testing, and it is working fine, and then you deliver it. The chance of you encounter bugs are very less. So once you say it is done, it's 99% it is done. Maybe here and there when you scale, some issues or bugs pop up, and it's very easy to fix. Whereas since your AI is non-deterministic and probabilistic, there are a lot more failure scenarios that will pop up once you deliver something in production. So that means you cannot say that I delivered in production, I'm done, I'm moving on to next project. It will be continuously, you will be working on the same product until maybe after delivery, it may take an additional few months before you work out all these failure scenarios and fix the issues. And the next one is kind of related. As you deliver these things like in a startup mode, requirements will be keep on evolving and new requirements emerging once you deliver something, right? Because it's almost like rapid prototyping phase, you are delivering the actual product. So that is also the reason this FDE role is exploding. And speed is another important thing, because most of the companies think that vibe coding can increase the productivity by 300%, 400%. So they are saying that no, we don't want to wait for 6 months and 1 year to see the working product. We want to see now. And if you challenge them, they will say like, we keep hearing that all this statements from Sam Altman or what is the Anthropic guy saying that you can deliver the product with vibe coding in 1 week, 2 week. So why can't you do the same? So that is another reason this FDE role is exploding. Any questions? Okay. Yeah. So the FDE role is more than a job title or job role. Previously, the traditional thinking is you ask what are the requirements, what should I build, what is the scope, whether the development is complete, and you say if there is an issue, that's not our problem, that's our downstream systems problem, you talk to them. Whereas FDE thinking or the new operating model is as a FDE engineer or architect, you will be owning this whole problem to solution end to end. You would be thinking about what are the outcomes, almost like a product owner or product manager, not even product owner, product manager. If it is my baby, my product, what is the outcome I'm trying to change? What value I'm trying to add? This is usually done by a product manager or business analyst or business people before. Now you have to think like them. And then next one is like a startup mentality. What is the smallest thing I can build to test this hypothesis that I already developed in previous question? And then once you deliver, did it meet the adoption and business metrics requirements? Anything changed? And if not, if it is, then what is blocking the outcome? And then reiterating. Almost like a startup. So you have extreme ownership and you have to show your judgment skills, which you
Hey,
didn't have
Karthik.
to before. Yeah.
This is Maddie. So, Karthik, the first time hearing FD. Okay, so just a curiosity question. So, the domain-driven design, right, where the engineers and the product together talk about the same domain, trying to understand the problem, and where they do the POC, and that and then they they speak the same ubiquitous language and things like that. Right? Isn't it similar to what? Because I don't know the full context of FDE, but isn't that very similar to the at least the starting some of this? Isn't that overlap between this and that?
Yes, absolutely. The only see, so what you're talking is ideal scenario. Okay. That doesn't happen most of the time in most of the companies, right? Now
Correct. Yeah.
it is forced to make it happen. That is the model.
Hmm.
There is no other way.
Okay.
You cannot just say that it's not my issue. Let product manager or product owner, scrum master give me the stories. All my job is just deliver them and see if it meeting the pre and post conditions for the story. You cannot.
Hmm.
Yeah. Now, literally what you said, you have to do that.
Hmm. Got it. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So traditional delivery models, you have a business user, business owner, then you have your consulting team, business analyst, and then product, and then architect, then engineering. So the business problem is getting handed off between all these layers, right? That's what we do. And there is some, small changes or nuances in this model, but more or less, this is what we do in traditional consulting practice. Whereas forward deployment model, I'm just reiterating what I mentioned already. You will be discovering and diagnosing the issues. You will be part of the users or business users. You observe what they are doing, almost like a product manager, and you identify the root causes and then prioritize them. Not every issue needs to be solved right away. See which one gives you maximum bang for buck before, and then choose that particular one, and then you start building the prototype. Then you build the prototype, integrate with other systems, deploy, and there is no, if you notice this, there is no handoff between different people, different layers. And then you track, when I say you, I'm not talking about only that particular FD engineer or architect, as a team, actually, I'm talking about. Um, and then you observe the results in the production, you build the observability, monitoring, tracing, maintainability, all of these things you bake in, and then you measure the outcome and see if it meets the original objective of the problem you try to solve. And then you productize and scale. You find any patterns in this, like for example, you are building AI native application and RAG pipeline is part of the solution. So you build it and then you reuse it. So once you build this RAG pipeline, and then you start trying to reuse it for other problems as well. You're not building just for this particular project or engagement. You are trying to reuse for other projects as well. So that's where the consulting companies gets more value out of it. You are building something for a particular customer, and you try to make sure that it is reusable across multiple customers. So that way you are building for one client and you are reusing and you are getting more value out of it. So yeah, it's very important this part. You are a technical owner connecting everything together. So a simple table that shows how the roles and their responsibilities for each and every different role and how it is different for FDE. If you look at for all of these capabilities, FDE, your involvement is very high, except the platform development. Whereas if you look at the traditional software engineer, customer interaction, you hardly have. Whereas FDE, you have high customer interaction. Problem discovery, you hardly do. Whereas as an FDE, you do. So it's really multiple hats, multiple roles all coming together. I'll leave it for 10 seconds. And then if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. If not, we will move to next one.
So Karthik, I understand the responsibility is very high, but you mentioned that many team members will be there as part of this FDE team.
Yes.
Okay, but so for example, when I'm looking at Indeed right now, just an example, right? It says FDE AI engineer, FDE API engineer, something like that. I see the roles,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that means all these people will become a part of one single FDE team, let's say team one in that company. Is that right?
Correct, correct. Again,
Okay.
also this is based on Palantir model, and every company, their understanding of how this works is different, and then they build their teams based on their version of the FD role, and then eventually
Okay.
they will evolve, and then they will probably converge into best practices.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Karthik said. Because different companies use different processes. From the existing team, if they are going into AI process, they might be using the same group of engineers. They use the common LLM or common MCP servers. All the individual FDE will be using those. So you will be part of that team. I guess that's what you meant, Karthik.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Again, this is really for the consulting side, right? If you're really working for a product company, all you will hear is AI engineer. That is the role I keep seeing in like companies like Amex or CVS or something.
Right.
Whereas if you're working for a consulting company, that's when you will see, like if you're working for Accenture or CTS or Palantir, then you will see this FD role. Like AWS, I heard they are spending $1 billion to create this FDE org or teams actually, and same thing with Google actually. So all these engineers will be really working with clients. Whereas these AI engineers, even if you take Accenture, they have something called AI native engineering and then forward deployment engineering. So if you're an AI native engineer, you will be building products for Accenture and platform and reusable components for Accenture and clients. Whereas in FDE, you will be only working with clients.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is typical engagement looks like? You understand the business workflow, and then you identify bottlenecks and root causes, and then You prioritize what is the high value problem you can deliver very quickly, and then you build the prototype and you validate it working with the users, end users, and then you integrate it with other enterprise internal systems. You deploy, you measure, then you iterate based on the feedback. Then see if you can productize, meaning this is the piece usually you don't do it in your traditional consulting engagement, whereas productize. So you will be finding reusable patterns like RAG pattern I mentioned, which you're gonna probably in the contract itself, you will probably have it with the client saying that whatever reusable components we identify, we also own the one IP, not you. You get to use it, but we use the IP. And it's still, this is the area, a lot of companies are not even thinking about it. They are doing all the other part, but this is where the consulting companies get more value out of it. Because previously, whatever you are delivering in 6 months or 1 year, you are delivering in 2 months or 3 months. That means your revenue is reduced. But by productizing, by creating reusable shared capabilities, you are getting more revenue of that one engagement. So let's take a case study, AI-powered medical billing resolution. So the problem statement or situation is a healthcare organization or hospital that handles a lot of thousands of billing disputes. And right now, manually, every employee has to inspect the invoices, review the insurance records, compare the contracts, search into the policy documents, and then determine the denial reasons. And then you contact the insurers and then communicate with the patients to resolve the issue. So what are the issues? As an FDE, you get through embedded with this team, then let's say you found out these issues. It is very slow, inconsistent resolution, same kind of customer complaint. And one is having insurance approved claim, and another one is insurance rejected claim because it's all manual and it depends on the interpretation of the person who is really resolving these disputes. And it's very expensive. Human labor is expensive, high cognitive load. You may have to go through hundreds of policy documents to figure out why this particular claim was denied. And difficult knowledge retrieval across systems. There may be different systems have different policies. It is not versioned properly, and there may be new policy created by business. It is not updated. A typical healthcare organization when they are dealing with these kind of issues. And then so you come up with the outcome that you want to see by building this AI-powered system, which is to reduce the average resolution time while improving the accuracy and consistency and compliance. Traditional timeline, you take 1 or 2 months just to gather the requirements, and then you will be documenting the requirements. When I say you, it may be someone like business product owner or business analyst. And then an architect comes and then he or she does the architecture and design. Then engineers will start looking at the feasibility, vendor and tool selection, because there may be a lot of tools that needed to complete it. Like for example, you have to scan the document. So which vision model you need to do, you need to select, and whether it meets all the requirements, all those things you will be doing. And then you will do the development and then testing and then pilot launch after 1 year. And then comes the kicker. After 12 months of work, the end user says, "Oh, actually, this doesn't actually fit how we resolve the uh, problems." So now the issue is the feedback is too late because you delivered too late, right? So now comes the friction between the consulting team and the client, right? Client says one thing, no, 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 this is what we said. And consulting team says, no, 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 this is what you told us on this document, this is the sign off. So it's really the feedback, the process is not an issue. It's just that it takes so long to complete this whole thing, and the feedback loop is coming very late because you are delivering the product so late. It's a really pilot, not even final product. There may be a little bit exaggeration, but you see this issue. It may be 6 months instead of 9, 12 months. But this, you see this over and over again, right? How many times as an engineer, I personally got really frustrated more than 15 years ago when I was an engineer. We spend months and months on deliver, and then they say, no, we don't need it. We're going to scrap it and work on this project. Whereas an FDE approach, the script is completely flipped. In first few days, you are embedded in the client teams and with the end users, business users. You observe what are the issues they are facing, how they are using. You understand the complete business problem before you even think about building it. And then you figure out all these issues, what are the different type of uh, building issues, and then you prioritize them and see which one gives you the maximum bang for buck. Maybe one particular type of building issue is occurring more than other type of building issues. It is causing probably 30% of the total number of building issues. And then you realize that you can quickly build the prototype and take it to production within 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then you prioritize that first. And then you start the this new layered approach where you select the tools like which LLMs, which agentic AI framework, which tools, and then you build the whole thing like structured output. Because I already mentioned LLM is non-deterministic, you need to convert into structured output like JSON schema or something. You define the schema. And then integration part, like you need to integrate with claims and charges fee. And then you need to integrate with EHR, electronic health record or claims data. And then what are the insurance policies and rules that company has. And then you expose them through APIs, ideally through an MCP server. Again, the important thing is you do this all of this already, but you do it really rapidly. That means you are not spending too much time analyzing. You are quickly building the prototype. You are taking only one use case and then figure out how to do all of this for that particular one use case to cut the time. Let's say in your analysis, this seems to be not the right use case to tackle first. You put that in the back burner and you take the next one, which you think now you got some more data. What are the systems you need to integrate? What are the tools are available? Then now you can choose the right problem from the priority list, which can give you again maximum bang for buck and repeat the same process again. And then weeks 2 to 6, you are building the prototype, production candidate, and you are doing the measured rollout. Pretty much whatever we do right now, it's just you are shrinking the timeline.
Hold on.
What is the question, Geeta?
The previous slide.
I'm sorry?
Can you move back to the previous slide? No, next one. What is that prompt injection defenses?
So that's a separate topic itself. So prompt filtering. So someone can inject a malicious input as part of the prompt.
Okay, got it.
So yeah. So you do prompt filtering. Yeah. So these are all the failure scenarios that you don't see before. You have to make sure that you are addressing them. Go ahead, Raja.
Yeah, Karthik, I have a question. So currently, most of the companies follow the agile model, right? So agile 2 week sprints they'll follow. Every 2 weeks, we take a small piece, we will develop that. We are demoing to business team. So how it is different from the regular agile model? In agile also we are doing the same thing, right?
Yes,
Small pieces we are really.
100%. But are you taking all the way to production? Your initial rollout will be like lot of different small scrums, and then probably 2 months once, the once or 3 months once you are doing. Here you are taking smallest problem or use case that you want to tackle all the way to production.
Okay.
Like
So
more like
when we
a Kanban
the
model. I think Kanban is the one startups usually use. So you have a
okay,
running backlog.
got it. So when we say small, are we talking about a like a full-fledged feature, like adding a small like UA enhancement, like so what? Because in the agile model, right, in a small 2 weeks timeline, we cannot release a full feature, right? So we can able to do only some level. So because of AI and LLM, we are saying we can able to deploy a full-fledged feature in two
Yeah,
weeks.
so you are not doing it in 2 weeks, right? So it is really, it may take 4 weeks or 6 weeks to complete the whole.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
let's
Okay,
take this billing system, right? Where is it? Yeah, let's take this billing solution, right? So what is the bare minimum you need for your end users to use? Okay, you need a UI, probably you need a authentication authorization, authentication authorization. Then take only one use case, one billing dispute use case, and then you build the whole workflow to solve that particular use case. You are delivering this whole thing end to end.
got it. Okay, yeah, thank you, Karthik. Sorry, one more follow-up question. So you said like this this model, FD model, we deploy the engineers on the client side, right? So in the
Yes.
consulting companies, so most of the companies follow two model. One is fixed bid project or time and material project, right? So in the time and material project, the same thing companies are doing here today also. So we give our resource to the clients. They can utilize however they want, right? So whatever project. So how it is different from the time and material model,
So this
this
is
FD?
the difference is here a small self-contained FDE team working deeply embedded in client's side. Whereas right now, what is happening is, let's say client is saying that, okay, I need one architect, I need two software engineers. Now they are part of the larger team again traditional Scrum team or waterfall teams, right? Whereas here, the client says, "You are one. This is the problem I want you to solve. You figure it out."
Okay,
Now the consulting team says, "I'm sending you this 7 or 8 people, and they have specific roles, and they're all part of the FDE team, and they will be owning this solution end to end without any other interruption."
got it. Okay, understand. Yeah, thank you.
Because the solution itself right now, the burden is really on the consulting team. Whereas when the time and material, you are supplying the consultant and you don't care about what is the outcome. They deliver, they don't deliver, you don't care, right? You just bill them for the hours. That's not the case here.
Got it. Yeah, in this model, even in my current project also, in the client side, multiple vendors involved. So big companies normally they work with multiple vendors, right? So this model now, I'm thinking how like if we need to give you a full-fledged team, only one vendor can work, right? So
Yes.
so multiple vendors we cannot pull, right? The resources.
Yeah. I'm sure
Got it.
some companies will try to experiment and probably will fail, but that's a part of it, right? So because it's such a
Yeah,
what do you call emerging trend, and people will have their own understanding or try to, because for example, um, a senior leader hear this FDE term or watch my video and then say, hey, we want to start implementing FDE operating model. The managers don't have much knowledge about it. Then they will try to massage whatever they have already and then try to package it as a FDE team, right? Or FDE model. And then usually they fail, right? So, and then eventually they'll learn from their mistakes and then go into whatever the model, working model like Palantir's model.
got
Yeah,
it.
totally new. Every company is trying to figure out their working process. Most of the companies, they are creating, they are doing a reorg. They form a team called AICOE, Center of Excellence.
Excellent.
So they will come up with a new process, how we can adopt the AI.
So that is more enterprise architecture or a platform engineering team. So
Yeah.
they will come up with policies. Okay, you have to use only OpenAI model for LLM.
Right.
You cannot use anything else. And those are the things and then they may come up with libraries that does the prompt injection filtering. Instead
Yeah.
of each and every team is building their own prompt injection filtering, they will say, we are giving you this library, just call this, and it will take care of prompt injection problem for you. So those are the things this AI Center of Excellence teams does, which is different than FDEs.
Oh, got it.
Okay, so as an FDE, AI makes your role even more important because of all the new failure modes.
Karthik, I have a question. Sorry to interrupt before
Sure.
we go to the slide. So, what you're saying is, if it is a consulting company, this is one of the best approach, which is emerging approach.
Yes.
Okay, if we want to implement already in an organization, this is not a consulting like a regular company, normal like Intel or Wells Fargo or Chase or something internally, right?
Yes.
How do we implement internally this process for
Actually,
the
really
faster
good one.
delivery?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's your internal teams need to play that FDE role, right? You call it as a native engineering team. And I think probably I got to double check. Probably Accenture is that's what they are doing. They are doing the same, they are taking the FDE model and they are doing the same thing for building internal application. So take the same model, just put it in your internal, product
But
company.
it's similar to the Scrum team, right?
The difference is again, right now, yes, it's similar to Scrum team, but there are nuances, right? Where you are embedded as part of the business users. You are owning the solution end to end, problem to solution end to end, which is not the case before. And you are
Okay, got
randomly
it.
prototyping.
Okay, so in Scrum team, generally we don't involve the real business users.
Yes,
We
correct.
involve the tech side of it. When I say tech, starting from product onwards, we involve until test and delivery.
Yeah,
So in FDE, we are involving them so that even day one onwards, they are into the discussions. Okay,
yes. Yeah,
that will
literally, let's
definitely
say your
make it
business
faster.
users are in different building. You will have your teams sitting in that building actually with
Got it.
business user.
And it need not be AI, right? When I say AI, full-fledged AI or maybe partially AI based on the organization
Yes, yeah,
structure and current
yeah,
pace of the AI. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, again, this is really, if you really look at it, this is similar to how startups operate, right?
Got
It's just
got
that
it.
AI made it more mandatory for the consulting organizers to adopt this model.
Got it. Okay. Great.
Like if you really look at this startup, the mindset is completely different. No one says it's not my job. Your title may be saying that COO, but you'll be doing the coding, right? You might be collecting the requirements. Only 5 people are there, and everyone will be VPs or SVPs or COO. Doesn't matter. So kind of similar kind of mindset you need to have. You cannot say it's not my job. Usually, a product manager collect the requirements. I'll wait for the product managers to deliver the user stories. You cannot say that anymore. You
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
wearing the product manager.
Just a follow-up question to what Krishna asked Karthik, right? So in a traditional company like say Chase or Wells Fargo, there are a lot of customers, right? A lot of internal customers, and they all, if you have like a team of 10 people attending so many internal customers, it's not really practical in my opinion, at least right now, at least the way I see it. That's why they have this current process where there is a principal engineer or product owner. They talk to multiple teams or they put an intake request which is prioritized, and then maybe we can the next step maybe we can send an FDE to that. Like if there are 20 teams, if we send a team of 10 people to all the 20 teams, becomes a not a scalable solution,
Give me
right?
an example so that it's easy for me to comprehend.
No, so for example, let's assume I'm an automation team. Like I'm just giving a hypothetical example, right?
Yeah.
And so if 20 teams ask, hey, can you build this automation, right? I'm just taking an Ansible team, right? So they build this Ansible playbooks for um, different customers. And if there are 25, 30 customers that come in, so we need to have some kind of a prioritization framework should be there, right? That's where the product owner plays a role. And so they, instead of, otherwise, if you
Yeah,
see
what
10,
I'm saying is
Mhm.
that product manager role or product owner role will be done by the FDE team, FDE engineer or FDE architect. That is the mindset or shift is happening right now. They may not be initially, maybe you may have a product thinker or product engineer, but eventually, what I see, at least what I heard from people who work in Palantir engagement, they don't see a separate product manager role. It's really the team is playing someone or two people in the FDE team is playing that role.
No, I
They
certainly agree that this will work very well for some companies where somebody tells the problem with and they want the solution also. They're asking us to implement the solution, right? And the solution may not be really accurate. So I think FD will certainly solve the problem because they may not even have a proper solution and things like that. And but traditional companies where I am struggling, whether this will immediately or maybe there should be a different way to implement this.
I think it best way is to experiment and see and do small experiment and see if it works. My guess is it will work because even if you take the FDE space or FDE model, the FDE engineer may not know that particular space at all, right? If a CDS or Accenture or TCS say this is the FDE team gonna go to insurance, and that the engineers who are a part of the team or architects part of the team, they may not know the insurance space at all. They are working with the customers. They're deeply embedded with the customers to understand the problem, and then they come up with the solution.
I see. Thanks,
And
Karthik.
yeah, and one more thing, if you notice, is the knowledge arbitrage is gone. What I mean is, you can use AI to figure out what they are doing actually. Like I'm able to, this medical billing solution, I already built a prototype. I never worked on medical billing or in medical insurance companies or hospitals or healthcare, but I was able to figure out everything just using AI.
Correct, correct. AI has made the level playing field for everyone now.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why companies who are mature enough to understand this, they are not having separate role for this product thinker or product manager. They are saying that an existing team member with a different role or different title can play that role as well. Make sense?
Hey,
Yes, correct.
Karthik, this is Suren. Can I ask you a question on the medical billing you just mentioned?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, the question is, did you do any database engineering or database architecture related with the medical billing? Because medical billing normally, like maybe all the transaction might be kept in a database. That's what I'm assuming. May not be so also, right? Maybe file based too. But if one has either database engineering skills or doesn't have a database engineering skill, so what I'm wondering is whether a good fit for FDE role. And that's why I was asking whether, you said you developed a lot of things through AI and then you were able to deploy it successfully. So I was just curious, could you share if it is possible, any experience related with that?
Yeah, so the one I built still in prototype stage. I built it like 1 year ago, but my priorities got changed. So what I did is not proper or a normal medical billing system. So what I was building is like this is from, maybe I'll keep it short as much as possible, from personal story or experience that I heard from my neighbor who got bitten by a rattlesnake, and then they went to a emergency room, and then 1 month later they got a bill for $20,000 or something, and they have insurance. And the husband is a doctor himself. He was shocked why treating a rattlesnake bite is costing this much. So he asked for the item as billing, and then he noticed that lot of medications, lot of things mentioned in that itemized bill is nothing to do with rattlesnake. So since he's a doctor, he is knowledgeable, he was able to challenge them and then got reduced to $2,000 or something. So that's when I was shocked that how much billing errors are there. So why don't I build a system where it scans the itemized billing and then it'll figure out whether there are different type, probably 40 or 50 different type of errors could happen accidentally. That's what they say. And then this my AI app is going to scan all those things and find the codes and the medical I forgot the code names actually. I forgot the name, and it figures out whether it is valid item in the itemized billing or not, and then it will create an
Karthik, you're referring to ICD codes, right?
yeah, ICD, and then HP something, right? There is two different codes are there, ICD 10 and then one more HP something actually.
Correct.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I don't even remember, I don't have experience. As you can see, I don't even remember the codes, but I was able to build the prototype and validate it for one or two my friends actually.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Okay.
Yeah, all I got to do use Claude more, keep on prompting with asking questions with Claude actually.
Yeah, definitely now Claude and other AI tools are a helping hand in our day-to-day, business work, relation, business and work related items. Definitely, I agree. So I was just wondering, data without the database knowledge,
Yeah,
uh,
definitely. As a software engineer, you usually have a database, some knowledge, at least you
correct.
know what is the what do you call the normal forms, all those things. What is basic, table design, all those things, which you have to do as part of vibe coding. In fact, that is my what do you call gripe about vibe coding. We get so first we don't trust this vibe coding. Once we see its power, we completely blindly trust its output, and that's caused a lot more issues. Actually, we should really review the output given by the vibe coding tools before we accept the plan and implement them.
Got it. Okay.
Whether you are doing the FD role or not, you have to do as an engineer. You have to validate what these vibe coding tools provide.
Sure, yeah. So far, whatever I'm hearing, I'm just observing it, and then FDE role or FDE architecture needs a broader base of the industry, and then the knowledge which you gain through your regular coding or regular work, right?
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. At least you should be able to ask the right questions to
correct, yeah.
these LLMs, right? See, literally that is what this is talking about, this slide actually. So an engineer must understand the entire workflow, not one particular part, not only UI design, not only front-end code, not only React and Node.js part of it, not only back-end code. You need to know all of this, like database, search, CRM, how the agent orchestration works, all those things you need to know.
Sure.
As the building part is now you are delegating to AI, now you need to have the knowledge part. So that's why your role is kind of getting muddier or overloaded because a lot of the heavy lifting, what you are doing as a developer is now done by AI. So now that means you have to take some additional responsibilities which AI cannot solve yet. Yeah. So what does an FD need to know? You need to be really good at communication because previously someone is shielding you from talking to client, and you can literally blow up the entire project because of bad communication. That's why a lot of companies always shield the engineers from talking to end client. They always have product managers or project managers talk to the end client. That barrier is going away. So that means you need to upskill yourself in communication and product knowledge, business knowledge, enterprise integration, AI, data engineering, which we just discussed, cloud platform engineering, full stack, everything you need to know to some extent. Do you have to be master in everything? No, because the mastering part is you are given to AI. You have to be jack of all trades so that you can use AI efficiently to deliver the end-to-end solution. So most important skill is the problem decomposition, right? For example, the business user may say, or executives say, use AI to improve our billing operations. As an FDE, you need to decompose this. This is what usually done by the BAs or product managers. You have to figure out how this billing actually work today. What are the manual steps are there to complete the dispute resolution? What are the pain points? You have to interview the users and see what are the pain points. Maybe you have to do that manual work for few claims to see what pain points you are facing and take notes of it. And then what requires human judgment or decisions, and what are the data and systems already exist. What pain points AI can quickly address and reduce or eliminate it. And then you come up with use case prioritization. So I was already mentioning that you will be, as an FDE, expected to use AI assisted tools, which changes the nature of delivery or implementation. But engineering judgment, your system design skills, your architecture skills, which one, taking the right trade-offs, which one to use when, should I use APIs or should I use directly go to database? Should I use context engineering to optimize? Should I use LLM or should I use SLM? Those judgments still stays with you. So system design architecture skills are more important than ever. If you don't have it, you better upskill it. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to survive going forward. So what the companies actually look for? Actually, I'm gonna segue into in interview what are really asking. Are they asking all of this or some part of it? So companies generally they're looking for whether you have engineering fundamentals, whether you can develop production grade code using AI assisted tools, communication and customer facing ability, and then ambiguity tolerance. I used to hear from my teams in the past, whenever the product managers changes requirements or something, they hate it actually. They don't like ambiguity, they like certainty. That you need to change that mindset. If you are still having the same mindset, you want everything to be, given in a platter for you. That is going to be changed. You're going to be uh, put into the situation where things are even more ambiguous than before. And then the AI engineering depth, outcome ownership. In the interview, right now, so far, I haven't seen anyone or heard, because I can only attend so many interviews. Since I have the AI coaching program, even if I don't need a job, I always try to attend the interview and see how it is changing or not changing so that I can guide my students efficiently. So based on what I have attended, but I usually attend as an architect or a management roles, they're still expecting this part, engineering depth, and some form of this part. I haven't seen anyone so far in the interviews asking questions on or your ability, testing your ability on customer facing or communication or ambiguity tolerance or outcome ownership yet. Maybe, yeah, things may change over the time, but right now only these two they are expecting. And just like if you're attending for a software engineering with a background interview or role, a engineer role interview. Yeah, again, this is what you call, not everyone does this, but some form of this is happening in the interview loop. Coding. Many people have told me that they were given a problem and given 3 days or 1 week, and they come back with the working code. System design, obviously, which is part of that coding, you have to, when you are in the interview, you have to demo the working code you have developed for the given problem. And obviously, you have to talk about the system design trade-offs you have taken and what is the approach. How did you reduce the token usage or optimize token usage while building this application or solution? Obviously, they go more depth into RAG architecture. You can literally expect questions most of the time, at least 4 or 5 interviews I have attended in last 3 months. They were saying that my company has millions of documents and it is taking 1 minute for the customer chatbot to provide the answer. And most of the time, the answers are inaccurate. How would you solve the problem? How would you improve the performance? And how would you improve the accuracy? And then they give you another problem statement and then see what are the different agents you will be building to solve that problem. And then what are the challenges you face, like prompt injection, hallucination, all those things, and how you're going to mitigate in your design. So these are the things they are asking in the AI/LLM engineering part. Problem decomposition. I haven't seen much companies doing it, but some companies, at least I heard Palantir or one more company I forgot asking this. Yeah, customers scenario. This usually they club it part of this. Ownership, leadership. In FANG company, they always ask this even 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But other companies, I haven't seen much yet. So if you want to get into FDE role, so build a portfolio. This is another thing they're asking. They're asking your GitHub repo. Even if you are applying for probably sometimes FDE senior manager, FDE associate director, or FDE architect, they are still asking your GitHub link actually. So build a portfolio that covers aspects of this. So these are the example portfolio project I came up with, but please feel free to build something that encompasses all of these things. And the biggest bottleneck I've seen a lot of companies struggle is the RAG pipeline, where it works really great in prototype with only 10 documents, 10 PDFs. Each PDFs are 2 pages, 3 pages. The moment they go to production, where you have each document, each PDF is hundreds of pages, and you have probably 10,000 documents, it dies, and the accuracy is really bad. So when you build this portfolio of the projects, make sure that is as accurate as possible by showing the demo of you have probably 100-page documents that you download from internet for the given problem, and show that your demo is working fine and faster and also very accurate. And then the other part is the observability security. That part also you got to demonstrate. Because most of the people can build a solution using vibe coding. These are the observability security evaluation framework, business metrics, measuring the business metrics. These are the part people miss or don't have experience. So in your portfolio, make sure in your demo, you are addressing these things. That is what raising the bar for these demos. And deploy it in your favorite cloud, Google Cloud or AWS. That shows that you have the deployment skills also, not just development skills. This is a sample 90-day FDE learning roadmap. And obviously, whoever needs these slides, please text me. I will share it later. I will leave it for probably 20-30 seconds in case you have questions. Okay, we have 15 more minutes. I'll try to cover remaining as quickly as possible.
Karthik, I have one quick question. This all sounds like very close to architect, right? But so how does this differ from an architect?
So you you are doing the architecture work also, right? So that's why I said, like in an ideal FD team, the roles are overlapped. One person will be doing the engineering, product thinking, or business decomposition, system design, or architecture, because you are not doing the, even if your title says engineer, you are not doing the coding. You are delegating it to AI. So you have to have that. That's why I said, gone are the days as an engineer saying that I will get the design how to implement this from architect or team lead. You have to wear that hat as well. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. So
So
I
let
think
me,
in simple terms, if you put it right, it's a combination of a product owner slash product manager, architect, tech lead, developer, pretty
yes.
much all put together, right?
Yeah, literally,
Database
this
guy.
is what I did in my
Okay.
previous engagement. I was
Okay.
hired as a AI architect, but I did develop the prototype, and but it took longer time to take it to production.
Okay. Thanks, Karthik.
Sure. Yeah. Who makes a good FDE? You love, enjoy ambiguity and incomplete information. You like talking to users and understand their workflows. You want to build their own an outcome, not just being a what do you call cog in a wheel. You are the wheel actually. You enjoy system design across multiple layers. You like moving quickly, like in a fast-paced startup environment. You can switch between writing code and explaining trade-offs. So these are the reasons. But yeah, if you don't like any of this, it'll frustrate you. But industry is going, this is where industry is going in the consulting side. So if you're in consulting side, you want to stay in the consulting side, I recommend you start embracing these things. You got to, lack of better words, you got to suck it up. Yeah, typical FD career path. Again, it's really evolving, emerging. Things may change. You start as a software engineer or a engineer, then senior solution engineer, then FDE, then staff FDE, principal FDE, and FDE manager, head of FDE. So these are the some of the exit paths, meaning you want to branch off, you can branch off to these paths as well. Yeah, this is the biggest benefit as an FDE. Eventually, if you have some idea, because you are getting all the skills you need to become self-sufficient and create your own one-person startup. So this is the biggest benefit as an engineer I see for you. when you when you have this when you start wearing this hat, when you see a problem like my neighbor facing the snake bite issue, insurance claims issue, you will be rolling up your sleeve and then start building your own product and go to market within 1 month, because the mindset is already there. uh, the role is forcing you to have that mindset. Okay, I think we are at the end of the session. Any questions? Let me see. Yeah, these are all just a repeat of what I just discussed.
Very good session, Karthik. Thank you very much. If you can share the slide, that'll be great, Karthik.
Sure. Yeah. Please text me so that I don't.
100%, 100%. Thanks, Karthik.
Yeah. So a quick poll actually, or a question. Which role do you think closest to FDE? You can put it in chat also. Or you can talk.
So maybe in the order, I would say solution architect and software engineer may be very close.
Yeah, it's really, we
Yeah.
just discussed, right? All of the above and none of the above, meaning FD borrows from each of this discipline and then it adds more. Proximity with the customers, speed, end-to-end ownership. So it's really five is the right one for FD. Which one?
How long this FDE has been in the role, I mean, has been in the business, right? Because AI,
So,
even though it is there, not in the industry usage-wise lot, right? So
so
FDE is again the deployment engineer. Go on.
yeah, last 1.5 to 2 years, like it's really literally Palantir pioneered it and started it. So 1.5 to 2 years ago itself, Palantir openings have the title as FDE actually. And it's catching up more. It's still not uh, to the level where it reached its peak. I would say probably 20 to 30% penetration.
Correct, yeah. Because in the previous slide, which you put it together, a leadership, and then all the role, not this one, the previous slide, up to going to the VP level and everything. So I was just wondering, like how long this FTE has been in the business, and then people are thinking about senior management or executive level leadership at higher level with the FDE, right? So
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
thinking,
two different things, right? Let's say Google is spending $1 billion or $2 billion to build an army of FDE teams. You still need a FDE senior manager, FDE director, FDE head of FDE, correct? So
right.
Google cannot say that, oh, the industry is only 2 years old or 1 year old, so we cannot have it. Let these FDE engineers naturally progress to senior manager or director. So those roles will be there. But again, what the criteria to become that may be, flexible or loose right now, which may be
Yeah,
tight
you
and
won't be, you won't be able to find out that much, like a leadership level
yeah.
person, right?
Forget
Maybe
about leadership. Even if
right.
you look at, let me show you. I told you, right? Even as an FD engineers, they're asking you only these two. They're not asking you these things.
Yeah, got
So
it.
yeah, so same thing goes for FD managers or something. But for FD managers, probably they may expect these parts already. Whether you are an FD director or a director of software engineering, they expect you to have these skills.
Okay, sure.
They expect you to have this outcome ownership skills. Maybe they may not care much about whether you know this, and they may care a little bit about this, whether you know when to use the trade-offs, all those things, at least so that you can manage your teams effectively, at least like architect level knowledge or something. Again, depends on which company. Like Fang, they expect you to do a be thorough with system design, even for a software engineering managers or director of software engineering. I'm expecting they have the same bar for FDE roles as well. Okay, how would you spend this first week as a FDE engineer? Or which option would you choose? Let me see the chat. Okay, Palniappan shared a video about the story behind how they came up with FDE. Maybe it's a good watch. Okay, B. Yeah, if you said B, yeah. Perfect architecture, that's what we do in traditional software engineering engagements or consulting engagements. This is what the difference for FDE. Okay, I think, yeah, we are at the end of the session. Okay, we have 7 minutes to 12. So, yeah, any questions? I will wait for another minute or so before uh, ending the session. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate. And I'll be posting in YouTube. If you take 20 seconds to add a comment and share it with your friends. That would be really helpful. Thank you so much for joining, because the more people reach, more experts I can bring in the coming weeks. I'm not just focusing on this will be like every week webinar. Next week bringing a tax expert, and then another week I'm bringing a tax expert who is going to talk about if you have your own idea what are the things you need to do, how to start the LLC, do you need C Corp or S Corp, all those aspects he will be covering. And the following week, I'm bringing another person who is who has already built a successful business. He's going to talk about what are the struggles. So, and then following week, how to fly to Europe or India using just points with only $100 in business class. So I have a lot of exciting webinars lined up, but the only way I can bring more people, more experts is more views to the YouTube, because those big guys usually willing to come to my webinar or interview only if I have sizable views and subscribers. So all I'm asking is please uh, subscribe and comment and share the videos once I uh, put it in YouTube. And I think let me give my channel so you can subscribe to it. You don't even have to wait for it. Once you click that bell button, you will be getting the videos as soon as I upload them. I'll post it here.
Thank you, Karthik, for taking an effort and then, like you're putting together your technical expertise here and, sharing with us. We really appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Okay. I will stop sharing and I'll be available for another minute or so in case you have any questions.
Thank you, Karthik. It's really useful. And can you share some of your experience about the current interview experience?
So interview experience. Okay. Yeah. So I was telling my students or whoever listened to me 3, 4 months ago, I said a lot of people, interviewers have no clue what they are talking about. So it depends on how lucky you are with the interviewer, because whatever answer you are giving in the interview, they literally check against ChatGPT, and if they give the right prompt and they get and the results matches what you are saying, then you are in. Um, if not, then you are out, unfortunately. But now the interviewers are also have experience and learned about it. So the interviews are getting a little bit harder, and they really want to see if you have the practical experience. How they are checking practical experience, like if you're able to answer, like how do you optimize a RAG pipeline for
Okay.
1 million documents? What are the failure challenges you faced in your recent AI implementation? And if you're not able to talk about hallucination and the evaluation framework, and which layer these issues happens, are you building defensive depth? Are you able to talk about agent decay? All those things, if you're not able to talk about, then they are literally rejecting you. They are not looking for theoretical answers anymore.
Okay, so the questions are basically based on your current experience, how you used AI and
Yes,
how you
100%. Yeah.
overcome that
Yeah.
solution.
Yeah. Sometimes they give you a scenario, like someone gave me a scenario. I forgot. So some Uber Eats kind of application where how would you integrate multi-agent system, and why would you integrate, and what is the business need, and if you do it at all. So you have to explain. First, you need to quickly think about um, how Uber Eats work, and then what challenges that AI can solve, where it can solve, and then quickly talk about it. And then what different multi-agents, sub-agents you will be having, what agentic AI patterns you will be having. So that is the first part they are covering. And then second part is really about whether you have implementation knowledge, meaning what are the challenges you face in each and every layer and how will you mitigate.
Thank you.
Sure.
Employers don't hire diplomas.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, that was some random noise. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sure. Any other questions? If not, we will end the session here. Thanks for joining. And I'll post the video in probably 30 minutes in YouTube. And please send me a message so that I can send you the slides.
Thank you, Karthik. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karthik. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Karthik.
Bye.